Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hello, Jersey. Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing? Hope you're having fun at work. Hello, hello. How are you, everyone? Hello, welcome to live open conversation. Welcome, everyone. Everybody's welcome to the open conversation. Hello. Hi, Patty. How are you? Hi, Cheyenne. How are you? I know everyone is coming in. Everyone is coming in. Hello, EJ. How are you? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Open Conversation. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day and having a good old day. I've been like a chicken with no head running around. As you know that we're going through something. Yes, and it was with my mom. So it is kind of hard to be here today, but still I'm committed to you guys 100%. And, that's what I do for myself and for you guys. As a committed person, you always stand up to your word, no matter what circumstances you're in. You always stand up to it, no matter what. Thank you for being here today. Just like as myself, I'm thankful to be here today, to be doing open conversation today. So I'm actually excited about this topic. We will be talking about today about rape and molestation. Molestation. Sorry to hear about your mom. Thank you. We're just coping with what's going on. It's kind of hard, but we in there. We're doing what we can to make everything to make everything better. But it's kind of hard when you see one of your parents sick, and you want to take that pain away from them, and it's hard, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that. Maybe because they don't care about their parents, or they haven't experienced that yet. So we're doing what we can to make things better. I know everyone is coming in. Quickly, I have this great topic. It's about rape. I do have a definition of what rape stands for. It's an unlawful sexual activity, and usually sexual intercourse carried out forcibly or under threat of injury against the will, usually of a female, or with a person who is beneath a certain age or incapable of valid consent. This is happening every day. This has been happening for years now. Many people are not, I don't know if it's aware or don't want to live the reality of it when it comes down to rape, and they don't want to believe the person that's speaking about it, and it seems like people don't have a heart when someone comes crying to them and explain to them, that they have been raped by someone, especially when it wasn't their, within their interest of wanting to do something with that person. So it is kind of sad that this has been happening for quite some time. Not quite some time. It's been happening for decades and centuries, and over the last couple years, it's happened to myself. I was a victim to it. It's not cute. I was a mute child. I wasn't able to speak. I wasn't able to say what was happening at the time. And within years, it became a comfort. And and I know it should have never become a comfort, but because it happened for so many years, and me not having the voice to be able to speak upon something that seriously, that I felt like I wasn't able to escape from that, And a lot of people, I come across so many people that has gone through the same experience, where their voices are not being heard. People don't seem to believe these people, these victims of being raped by someone that they never gave consent to have something with them. And it's very rare when, because it's to me sometimes it's outside of the norm, and then when you do hear it, it's like, oh shit, like, excuse my language, it becomes like, like, oh wait a minute, this is reality, it clicks in. People seem to like come to the conclusion of this is real. Hello everyone, I know people are still coming into the live show. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on Open Conversation today with me. We're talking about rape, and we're talking about molestation, if I'm saying it correct. I'm not sure if I am, but if I'm not, then someone please correct me. Come on to the live show. So anyhow, it's like, it's happening every day. You should be taking care of your children, watching your children, who they're with, where they're going, who they're going with. Especially this can be happening in school. This can be happening in an uncle and an auntie house. This can be happening anywhere, So everyone should be aware of someone that's not supposed to be doing something that is not rape. And first of all, I know that I jumped into my topic, rape, but what molestation is, is a sexual assault or abuse of a person, especially a woman or a child. That means that it's someone that touches them inappropriately. Someone that put their hands where they should have never have put it in the first place. And that's the beginning stages. Hello everyone. I know everyone is coming in. Hello. I know that if a kid comes up to you and say, hey mommy, daddy, so and so touched me, you should believe them, because at the end of the day, that's your child. Why wouldn't you want to believe what they're telling you, that someone has touched them in an appropriate way or said something in an appropriate way? There's so many perverts, and that's in families, that's within friends, that's within everyone. Some people have a dirty mind and say something to your child inappropriately, and that's not, and that right there is not right. Like, why are you tolerating the fact that you're letting someone sexually, verbally abuse your child in the sense of saying something that shouldn't be said to them? They're a kid. They're innocent, And I know some kids nowadays are not that innocent, but at the end of the day, if you know your child, you know that your child is innocent to what is actually, what is that all about? So why isn't it that these parents nowadays are not, taking in consideration that their child is coming to them, trusting them, believing in them, in regards of someone saying something inappropriate to them? No kid is going to lie about that, in my opinion. I completely agree. But one thing I do have to say, that there is some kids out that sometimes they don't really tell the truth. And it's because of the parents' fault. The parents lie so much that the kids become immune to the lies that their parents create. So when someone really actually comes out speaking about it, they think it's a lie. People don't seem to believe it because of why? Because you started the creation of lies, and by those lies, you let your kids lie in regards to that, so it becomes an issue. And and I know a lot of people that has witnessed this, where first of all, this goes for grown folks too. It's okay when you're playing around pervertedly, but it's not okay when you actually are being pervert, but you're being disrespectful. To me, that's you're molesting me, by saying something that's inappropriate. And even me as a man, I've at this age, I've had people say things that's inappropriate, and and I sometimes just laugh at it. And then it becomes a habit where, because you let it slide the first time, now they think that they can do it again the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time. And when you come to see, they're putting their hands where they shouldn't be putting it at. you know? And that's what's happening nowadays. People are not realizing what's actually happening. People are just trying to just stay focused and close their eyes and just only see what's here, what's in front of them. People need to open up and they need to view what's actually happening all around. You know, like, you need to know who's saying what, who's doing what, you know? And if a kid gets touched because they forced them to do something that they shouldn't have never done, you know, people, and they come to you and running to you crying out for help, you should be the one to respond. You should be the one to sit up, and that's anyone. That's male or female or kids. Nobody shouldn't be touched. Nobody shouldn't be verbally, sexually abused by saying things that's inappropriate. You know, and it gets to the point where people, I just stay like blinded by it. Like, you know, like, if this is really happening, this is what's taking place in our world, that has been taking place in our world and all these years, you know, and now people just make it look like it's an okay thing for it to happen. No, we shouldn't be okay with the fact that our children or our friends or our family members are being verbally sexually abused, or, you know, or being sexually assaulted by someone that should have never have put their hands or put their private part in a place that they should have never have done. You know, like, people need to be aware. People need to wake up and they need to start smelling the coffee. We are in 2018, and you know what? The world is not going to get better if we don't start making it better. If we don't start changing those things, what makes you think that this world is going to become better? It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And watch your kids be involved in a situation that they shouldn't be involved in. Just because you did not believe whatever they were saying in regards to someone touching them or molesting them or doing something to them that was inappropriate at all times. You know, because nobody should be getting touched. Nobody should be getting filled up at any time. You know, like, why we're not aware to these things, you know? So people need to start being aware of these things. People, I'm putting a message out there where people need to start being aware of what's actually taking place, not just, you know, around them, but just everything that's happening around the world. You know, there's people that believe that having sex with a child is correct, and in my mind, I don't even believe that having a sex with a child is right. You know, that is really insane if people do believe that it's okay to have sex with a child or to sexually abuse someone without their consent. You know, that's like being in a married couple and the husband or the wife are forcing the other partner to do something. You know, like, that, you know, when you're having sex or when you're getting into an intercourse with someone, it's because you have consensual consent of what's happening, of what's taking place. So why isn't it that, you know, you're not believing what needs to be believed? You know, like, people want to just close their mind and believe what they want to believe when they should be believing the real true story, the real deal. You know, like, I sometimes, you know, stay just, I don't know, just sometimes it's just crazy when I hear certain stories from certain people, when people actually talk in regards of stories that happened when they were a child, people of my age and older, that speaks about someone touching them, someone molesting them, someone, and we're talking about guys and girls. You know, some people think that it's just only little girls that this is happening to. No, this is happening to boys too. You know, and they have gotten older, and, you know, they feel their self-esteem is so low down on the ground that they don't even know where sometimes to start at, because of someone being so naive and so ignorant to doing something that was inappropriate, you know. And people just want to be dumbfounded by it. And you shouldn't be dumbfounded. People need to be aware. You need to be aware of your surroundings, well, who your kid is spending the night with. You know, I don't care if it's uncle, aunts, cousins, whatever it is. You know, friends, or, you know, whatever it is, grandparents. It doesn't matter who it is. At the end of the day, you need to be aware And you need to let your kids know, and to let them know, like, if someone touches you there or say this or say that, you need to have that already clicked in their mind, for they could be aware of these things, for when these things do happen, they are already alerted in their mind of these things, that when they could come back to you and feel comfortable and trust that they could come and say something to you, and that you could protect them from what they're saying. I mean, I have encountered many children that have lied, yes, but for the most part, a kid really wouldn't lie about something like this. Like, kids are sometimes innocent and naive, that when something like this happens, of course they're going to talk about it, because they don't know how to go about it. They're going to talk about it. And kids wouldn't talk about something that didn't affect them. Kids talk about things that affect them, that takes a huge part of them out, And sometimes people really sincerely just want to be close-minded to these things. Anybody has any questions so far? This is a really good topic, and I think everyone should be part of this conversation, because this is happening to many. This has happened to many of us, and this is going to continue happening to other people if we don't start putting a stop to it, and start being open-minded and being aware of what's around us. Because the people that you think that you love and that you adore are the first people that are willing to do something to hurt you, and not just only to you, but to someone that you love and adore so much. That could be a child or someone really close to you. So this really hits home, because this had happened to me when I was a kid, growing up, and people was like, oh, why you didn't say anything? What happened was that when you have no voice, when you are a mute child, when you can't speak, when you are only learning how to speak in sign language, because they already think that you are never going to be able to talk again. I'm blessed to be here today, to be able to speak about my story, and to be able to say the things that I'm saying, because people be like, wow, you have the courage to say those things. Why I have the courage to say these things is because, you know what? I don't want something that happened to me to happen to someone else, especially people that I love and I adore, and not just only that, but people around me, people that look up to me. I wouldn't want a kid to come home saying that someone touched them, someone did something to them, when we should be putting a stop to these things, and us as parents, and not even me, because I'm not even a parent, but I still consider myself a parent, because I have nephews and nieces that I have to be aware of, that I have to keep eyes on, because sometimes they're innocent, sometimes, they don't know, and they do things, and these adults think that it's okay to go approach them with something that they're not aware of, and catch them off guard, and I think that every kid should be aware of at least what my mother used to say, something of si te tocan allá abajo, dime. If they touch you down there, or whatever, something is fishy. But with me not being able to talk, I was closed. I was captivated by myself. I was lonely. I wasn't able to say what I wanted to say. And it happened for so many years. And it became a comfort for me. And a lot of people don't seem to understand and say, oh, you're gay because that's what you like. And reality is not, it's what I like now, because it's the comfort where I'm at. But at the end of the day, if I had to choose that, I don't think I would have never chosen that. Especially if someone never has stolen my childhood, my self-esteem, my dignity, if they would have never taken that away from me, I would have, I don't think I would have been that person today. Because it would have been a whole different ball game. It would have been totally different, because I would have experienced that, go on an experiment myself and experience that myself, going about it. I wouldn't, I personally don't think that I would have been on that route. That's the way I look at it, But it's just crazy, that some people just want to be blind to it. They just want to look one way and only one way. And then, and it's funny that I've come across so many people that their kids have felt so comfortable to say something like that to me. Don't worry. There is sometimes kids that are comfortable enough to speak about those things to me about it. And I feel like I have to be a voice for them. I have to be the one to speak up and say what's not right. And who am I to go to a parent to tell them that their parenting skills sucks? Like, who am I to tell someone that? But if your parenting skills sucks, then why did you become a parent? Having kids supposed to be a pride and joy. Having kids supposed to be the life, the light of your life. That those are a gift from God. And people, have kids and they don't tend to care what their kid is emotionally going through. And it's hard because I know when I become a parent, I know I'm gonna be one of those parents that you cannot stay nowhere. That's it. You cannot stay nowhere. Babysitting is gonna be very rare. Like, I'm gonna be like this overprotective dad that it's gonna be crazy. People gonna be like, yo, you're psycho. You're really psycho. No, and it's not that I'm psycho. It's just I'm gonna protect minds to the full extent. I'm gonna protect what belongs to me because I wouldn't want my kid to go through something that I went through that was so traumatizing all my life. I was scared to be who I was. I was scared to be me, and sometimes that's what happens, people fail to be themselves, because of something that they went through as a child, and that, and then it's crazy, and and so many other things tend to happen. That's when people want to commit suicide, people want to hurt themselves or hurt others because it's okay, because if they did it to them, they want to now do it to someone else. Sometimes kids get threatened if they tell someone and the child will keep it quiet, and that's the problem. That's the problem. But your child shouldn't be afraid to speak up. Your child shouldn't be afraid to come to you with the comfort of trust. Like, mommy, I got something to tell you. I have something that I need to express to you, and might start crying, but something is up, and your kid should be able to come to you even if there's a threat behind that. Because at the end of the day, the threat is that person that did something to your child. How many more times is gonna happen until the problem gets fixed? If the problem gets fixed, and that's where we fell at as parents. That we don't give the trust to our children. Why? Come on, like, are you serious? Sorry, guys. Sorry. I know there's an incoming call. This is the first time this is happening. I'm having an incoming call. But, hey, Thomas, how are you? So, hey, Louie. So at the end of the day, people need to be aware. People should know that, protecting our kids is the most important key of our life. And we should be aware of those things and know that our children is everything. Our children is everything, and we need to protect them. And not just only protect them, but protect those that you love too. That if someone was to get raped in the middle of the night by someone that they didn't want to get raped, and they come to you and confide that in you, be there for them. Be a human. Be there for them. I'm good. Hope all is good with you. Everything is good. Thank you for asking, and I'm glad that everything is good with you. So you know, just some people just they just surprise me sometimes with some of the stuff that they do and what they do to hurt their children, and and it's sad. It's really really sad. So any questions? Anybody have any questions? I know um, people have questions. Welcome to live open conversation. We're talking about rape and molestation. I'm going ham on this topic. It's actually one of my best topics that I love so much. Ay, bendito. But any questions so far? Anybody with no questions? I know somebody out there that that have a questions. Anyhow, let's keep moving. Because this topic is really really it really gets to me. I get a little emotional when things like this are happening around me, that it's happening in front of me, that has already happened to me, and people are sometimes, think that, we speak just to say things when in reality we're not saying it just to say it. This is honest truth, that these are things that are happening, that has already happened, or that future it can happen. It might not happen to you personally, but it can happen to someone that we love and that we adore. So everyone needs to be like on the same page, and and be aware of your surroundings. Know who your kids with, where they're going, how long they're gonna be with them. You know, feel comfortable with these people. Especially when kids tell you, "Oh, I don't want to go so house." You know, respect that, because there could be a purpose behind that. And people sometimes oh, excuse me. Sometimes people ignores it. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to Open Conversation Live. Yes, I'm here. I'm committed to you guys. I love you as well. Thank you for your greatest support and your greatest feedback every week. That's what I love. The more you keep giving me, the more I keep giving to you guys. Like I said, whether I'm going through what I'm going through, I'm still committed to you 100%. I'm here every day, every week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. committedly. I know a lot of people has questioned if I could change the time once again to a later time, because of some people have their job schedules has changed, and things has gotten difficult to get on the live show at 8. But you have to understand too that I had it at 7, and a lot of people used to get on. I put it on 8. Still, I get a lot of people on, but I'm going by the time frames that I have on my time. So and what I think that's best for you guys. So just remember, you guys have to put an alarm or do something, every Wednesday. Whoever got iPhone, I know y'all could go in there and schedule it for every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Alarm, live open conversation goes on every Wednesday with new topics, new things. And I'm actually excited about next week too. It's a great topic that we're having, and I know a lot of people has been waiting for this topic as well. So I'm actually happy in regards of that. So the continuance of our rape and molestation, how you call it, we need to be aware of what's happening around us, with who our kids are being with, like who's really, really there for you as people, who's actually have the right intentions, that are not that that's not gonna hurt your children or yourself, or someone that you love that's around you. You know, be aware to some of your friends when they come tell you and they talk about, that they went through something, that someone did something, that someone touched them. You know, be aware too of the perverts, that's out there that sometimes says things inappropriately, that whispers in your ear and say something that they shouldn't have said in your ear, you know. Something is going on. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow. So, we should be aware of those things. I'm having a little issue with Facebook. I don't know why they're kicking me off. But okay, Facebook, thank you. Thank you for kicking me off. If you thought I wasn't gonna get back on, I was gonna get back on. Anyhow, so oh, okay, I like that. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Go Facebook. I'm back in there like swimwear. Perfect. Look at that. That's much better. So anyhow, and people that that was saying about perverts, when they say things inappropriate into someone's ear and they say something that shouldn't be said to a child or to an adult in general, when they say things inappropriate, like, that's disgusting. A freaking viejo, why are you talking like that? So pervert and so provocative and so inappropriate. Like, you think that that's actually cute for a person your age to be saying some of the things that you say? I understand that we're just having drinks and it's just only us and we're having a good old time and we talk dirty like that because, we have that confianza or that comfort within each other, that trust. It shouldn't be, like, that's between us. We're not trying to be perverts or trying to be provocative about it, but I know that we have friends that we do talk like that. But there is people out there that always tend to say things that's inappropriate too, that especially to kids, And I remember some of the stuff that was said to me that was way beyond itself, with some of the stuff. Hello everyone. I know people still coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you guys. You are my greatest supporters. You guys continue to come on live, open conversation. That's the best part of my week. This is what makes my week. I enjoy coming on here. This is a stress reliever for myself. I am sleep deprived, so I am exhausted. So, but I'm here. I'm here. As exhausted I may be, I'm here. I'm chatting away, and that's the best part. So, anybody have any questions about rape? Has anybody been raped or touched by someone, or have been said something that someone says something to you inappropriately? Because sometimes it's crazy. Some people don't want to speak about these things, but I know that people have been touched. People has been have people have said something to you in regards to being so pervert and so nasty and so inappropriate. Has anybody has experienced anything of that sort with their children or within yourself? Have you ever had someone touch you or say something to you that was inappropriate? Anybody? Anybody? Wow, nobody really don't want to talk about this topic. Everybody was waiting for this topic for the long time, and now that I got the topic running, ain't nobody want to say anything. Nobody wants to say to anything. But these are my opinions. These are my definitions. These are my this is me. I'm not trying to send the wrong impression or the wrong message. I'm just trying to make people aware that you should be aware of your surroundings. You should be aware of the people that you hang out with. You should be aware of the people that you you love so much that can possibly hurt you, and you don't even know about it. You know, because so many people are so sick in their mind that, and to me that's like the devil trying to trigger something, trying to how you call that, trying to trigger something that, yeah, trying to trigger something, that is gonna is is gonna cause some damage, and it's just crazy how people, just wanna sit back and think that it's okay, especially when kids come running to their parents and they wanna say something about it and they're so afraid to say something of it. As shocking as it may sound, I was raped when I was 8 years old. That's one of the main reasons why we came here. It was death the hardest thing that I could have gone through because of it. And the whole is, I think you're missing a piece of of your your comment, but I'm gonna wait for it. Um, I was raped about that age too, you know. And it's crazy, it's really crazy. Oh, it's a family secret made me start drinking when I was older. And that's the problem too, that, as you letting that build up inside, by someone raping you and touching you and then taking you, and not they're not even fixing the problem. They thought it was repairing the problem by removing you from that situation, but they didn't think about you personally. They didn't think about how that was gonna destroy you as a person. Especially when you turn 21 or in that age of 18 or something like that you start doing things that you shouldn't be doing, drinking, popping pills, doing all these other things that you shouldn't be doing. You tend to do it because that's where you feel your comfort at. That's where you're hiding your feelings in. My breakthrough was when I sat with my now husband and I talked it out, made me feel as if I was free. And sometimes it takes that for you to feel like, that you are open with something that you build so much around it that you close yourself from it, that when you open up to your husband, or to your spouse, and any sense, that's it becomes comfort, because now you feel that everything you wanted to tell this person that you love and you trust so much knows everything about you, and knows that that you don't have nothing to hide, and that he's still, or she's still gonna continue to love you no matter what and support you, and not do something that's gonna bring you back to that memory, that's not gonna bring you back to that moment in life. Excuse me. this is why this is the reason why I cherish my hubby so much. He made me open up and let me know it wasn't my fault. And no, it wasn't your fault. And that's the mistake that sometimes what happens with us, with parents in general, that we sometimes, put the blame as like if it was the child's blame, that we did something to provoke that situation to make that happen. Well, first of all, we are kids. We were innocent. We didn't know what was right and what was wrong. But what we did know that someone did something wrong and that was supposed to happen. And now that you want to go speak about it to them in regards of it, they want to make you feel like if it was your fault. And that's where your self-esteem plays in role. And I'm actually happy that you have a husband that has actually brought you to realization that it was never your fault. It was no one. Trust me, if someone touches you and they did something to you, that was never your fault. You did not do something to provoke this person, to make you shut up, to make you do things that you should have never have done. That's not your fault. I don't let this define me at all. And I can easily say, although I'm not rich, I am truly happy. Let me tell you something. As long as that you're happy and that, you should never let that define you, first of all. What defines us is what we do and how we go about it. And those are things that actually makes us stronger as humans, not just only within ourselves, but for everyone around us, and I'm actually happy to sit here and to speak about my experience, and this is kind of crazy, some people be like, oh my god, I would never be able to speak about those things. But you know what, if you don't speak about those things, what makes you think that things are going to get better? We got to call out all those that put harm in our hearts. We got to call out for those that thought that they were doing something right, and in reality they wasn't doing nothing right. We got to call out those individuals that are fake, that pretend to be something that they're not. People that think that they're humble and they're not. You cannot sit here and be something or do something if you're not about it. People tend pretend to be fake within themselves because of the things that they have, been through in life. I don't want to be fake to myself. I don't want to be something that I'm not. I want to be real to myself. I want to be real to the public, to the people, to my fans, to my friends, to my family. I don't want to portray something that I'm not. If these are things that happen in my life, I'm actually happy to say that I'm writing a book, and that's where I'm placing it at. I'm going to talk about my experiences in my book, where people can actually go about buying it and actually relate to it. And yes, you always should stay real to yourself. You shouldn't be, portrayed to be something that you're not. And that's the mistake that happens too. That when you go through a tragic situation like this in life, especially as a kid, and when you get older, you portray to be this. I know a lot of these people too. As an example, where people, alcoholic parents, that those are topics for next week, by the way. Alcohol. I will get into that. But when a parent goes through like this alcohol phase, and they're all drunk, and when something like this happened to their child because one of their friends did something to their child, and they went and they didn't even believe it. The child grows up to be defined as someone, someone like they are defined like someone like oh, I have the word there. I'm gonna need to find another word for this. I'm just gonna say when they grow up and they define themselves as these, I'm not gonna say like crazy people or psycho people, but they go about being something that they're not. Because they're following in the same footsteps because of their parents made them feel and believe that there was something that there wasn't. And that's the mistake that we tend as parents to do, that we portray to tell our kids something that they're not. And our kids grow up, thinking that that's exactly how they are, like a piece of shit. When sorry for the vocabulary, but these are things that I have to say. When kids grow up to be like something that they wasn't supposed to be, and they fall in these drugs, they fall in these gang related, and they fall into these different categories of things that's not who they were supposed to be. So now they are defined as something that they're not. In reality, they're not. And that's the mistake that a lot of people tend to do. So it's just I just believe that us as humans, there is no more respect. There's no morals. People just tend to feel or do whatever they want, and it's okay to be that way. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic about things. You have to be aware of the things that's happening around you. You have to be aware of the children that you have, and that if they are experiencing something that's not normal, and that's the problem that we have in today's society, that we tend to put the blame on our children, and in reality our children grow up to be people that they're not. So it's just crazy. I sometimes just stay profounded by some of the stuff that's happening. So it's just people need to be aware of it. That's the only thing I can say. And it's like about a 98% of the time, kids are being raped, by, especially by a family member, not by someone that they know. It's by someone that they love that are being touched, and then these kids are being threatened by not to say anything, that they're gonna, or they get bribed with, oh, I'm gonna get you this and I'm gonna get you that, you do this and you do that, I got you with this and I got you with that, and remember, kids are innocent, and when things like that are being approached, they're like, oh yeah, that's a deal, but not being aware of what they're getting themselves into, and that's the mistake right there, that we encounter, so just, I just believe that everyone should be, aware of their children, aware of what's happening, just aware, aware, you know. Hello everyone, welcome to Open Conversation. I know I see a lot of people coming in. I know it's about 8:45 around there. We still got 15 minutes to talk and conversate and open up to the possibilities. This is what Open Conversation is about. Let's talk, let's open up, let's say what needs to be said. And to those, please share my videos with your friends and your families. Tell them to be part of this group. These of people that wants to talk and open up about the things that that didn't just happen to themselves, that is happening to everyone else around them. This is the whole purpose of my live show. To be able to help those find hope, find their self-esteem, their dignity, find who they are, and it's sometimes, people don't care about those things, but I do care, and I care for everyone, and that's my problem, that I care for everyone. And as I care for everyone, I only want the best, not just only for myself, but for everyone around me as well. It's funny that, I've been in places, there's been people on my live show that I personally don't know, but they see me in public here in the state of Florida, and they're like, oh my God, that's the guy from so-and-so. So it is one of the great feelings when I walk around the neighborhood and people is knowing who I am and what I do and what I'm trying to accomplish here. And it's not that I'm trying to accomplish, it's that I will accomplish it. And that's the fun part of my live show, that, we are here to come together as a community, as as the United States, as the world, as people, as humans, that we come together and we be able to help one another, be able to, to be able to, express ourselves in the manner that we should be able to express ourselves. When you and I talked about you being raped, you had no idea how jealous I was. Not in a bad way, in a way that you can express yourself, and that time I still couldn't. Sometimes, but I'm happy I got the strength you got in order for me to open up. Let me tell you something. It takes a lot. I'm going to tell you. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of who you are, to open up to something that was really traumatic like that, and people don't seem to respect that, but once you start opening up and start being able to talk about those things, I guarantee you, people open up and people start saying things that you be like, wow, I could have been helping these people, be themselves and open up. And, and I know that I told you this back in the day when, if this was something that you have went through, to open up and not to let that build you inside, because at the end of the day, that was creating, the monster that was drinking, that was, doing things that she shouldn't never have been doing, that had you at that point in your life because you felt that that was your escape, and until you don't find that comfort and the strength to be able to express yourself and to say the things that you want to say, and cry that out and do that, you're not going to understand how good it feels to be able to open up in that sense. And yeah, I was comfortable to say some of the stuff that I said to you, and I think I went into more details with you in regards of this topic, and back in the day, and I went through a hard time. I went through some counseling that actually helped me out to be able to open up and express myself in that manner, and that I shouldn't be afraid and know that that was never my fault. Because until I made it crystal clear to myself that that was never my fault, that's when I was able to speak in regards to this topic, and that's why, this topic is one of the best topics that I personally do believe that, I love and I enjoy. That I was just like, I was like, I have to be that voice for those that is having a hard time being open up, because there's so many people nowadays that are scared to say something because they don't want this person to get in trouble. They don't want to, say anything because the family member might kill them or hurt them, but sometimes if you want to just keep it as a disclosed thing in the sense of, this person is eventually going to get theirs, because everything that you do on this earth, you're going to need to pay for it before you walk out of it, and that's true facts. You have to pay for what you did on this earth. You have to pay for that. And until you don't pay for that, you're not leaving out of here. You can fight for your life and you will still have to go through your hardship time for you to understand that. So people need to pay for that. And being able to open up and speak about this topic to everyone, it takes courage. It takes, the vulnerability of being able to express myself in a manner that's going to be respectful. And I'm not trying to throw details of anything that had happened when I was going through what I was going through and during that time. I did have a little blackout, where I tend to didn't want to think about it, didn't want to know about it, didn't feel, I didn't want nothing part of that. That was just something that happened and boom, and I wanted to leave it there. But, as an adult, I was like, wait a minute, that's eating me inside. That's making me develop someone that I'm not. And it's betraying to be I don't want to be betrayed to be something that I'm not. Like I always continue to say, don't betray. Stay true to who yourself. Betraying yourself is one of the worst things that you can do to yourself. That's worse than someone betraying you. Imagine that. That's worse. That someone betrays you, that's worse. You betraying yourself, that's worse. And you should be able to open up and speak up about these things and be able to help others about it. Yes, a therapist said once you tell your story and don't cry is when you know you heal, and she was right, so right about it. Let me tell you something. When I spoke about it, and I cried prior to it, but when I re-spoke about it again, it just felt so good to just sit there and fight back for my life and take back what was taken away from me and create a whole new person, that was going to be able to help those within the same situation. So once you don't cry in regards to that, that's when your healing process is over. It's like you have broken loose from that situation, that problem, that issue that caused you to be that person, and that makes you become a better person. That makes you become a better parent. That makes you become a better coworker, because of the simple fact that now you're free from something that was holding you down so many years, that took turns, that took a roller coaster ride, up and down, that did everything that you can imagine, because you was trying. It's like obesity. People tend to find comfort in food. And that's the problem too. People want to find comfort in food, and guess what? When they become 20, 30 years old, they're over 600, 700 pounds because they didn't take control of it. Because they let food control who they were. And now they stuck in this body saying, wait a minute, what the hell did I do to myself? What did I get myself into? And when they start coming out from all these issues that they let build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. That's why I always say, nip whatever situation it is in the butt. Nip it right there. Don't wait 2 or 3 days. Remember, if you wait a day or you wait 2 days, guess what's going to happen? You made it comfortable for it to happen again. Because you didn't approach it the first time, what makes you think that it's going to be okay to approach it the second time? Once you nip it right there in the butt, boom, right there, knock it out. That's when things starts getting better. That's when you start feeling better as a person and feeling whole as a human, and you start feeling good, because you're doing something that you and your heart feels right about, So, the healing process is hard, because they take so much away from you. These things takes a lot of energy, a lot of, time and precious time, actually, because it took my youth away. I wasn't a kid. I was so scared and so, trapped within my own mind and my own self that I was just like, and people used to call me names. That's how the bullying started, where people started calling me names, and you're gay, and you're this, and you're that, and you're blah, 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 and all this other extra stuff that kids used to do to make me feel. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I never wanted to commit suicide, because it got to the point that yes, I did want to commit suicide, and yes, I did attempt it, but unfortunately it did not work out to the benefit of my doubt, because I'm here today to be able to speak about the things that I love to speak about. And it's not that I love it, it's just I love speaking about it because I want to be able to help those that are in need, that are afraid to speak about the things that they are afraid to speak about. So many people nowadays are afraid sometimes to say some of the things, or to say something that someone is going to be like, oh, they get offended by. I'm not worried about who I'm offending. I'm worried about who's offending me. Because at the end of the day, we all have a story. We all have been through our own things and issues in life. But at the end of the day, we need to have boundaries, and we need to have lines, or where we need to stand at. And people need to respect that at all times. Doesn't matter where you're at and who you're with. People need to respect that. You respect theirs and they respect yours. Just like everyone has opinions, everyone could talk. That's why God gave voices to everyone, to be able to express yourself in the manner that you should be able to express yourself, and not feel like you need to hide away from that. And that's the mistake that a lot of people tend to do, that they want to hide away from that, when you shouldn't be hiding away from that. You should be able to speak up in regards to things that are hurting you, that are affecting you in your life. And rape is one of those things that people tend to hold back on. We need to be together and fight back and fight others that are, that are hurting, not just only that hurt us, but are still continuously hurting everyone else that's around us, the people that we love and the people that we adore. We should be able to put a stop in this, nip it in the butt right there and then. We should be able to trust and believe our children when they come to us telling us that something had happened and that someone did something that they should have never had done to your child, because now that traumatized your child in regards to something that happened. So we need to be, as a community, we need to come together. We need to be together. We need to raise our voices. I am a public speaker now, that I'm speaking in regards to so many different things. But I know I have a little bit of time, and this topic was really good, and this have to be a